Good evening. The time now is 9 p.m. It's January 14th, and it's time to get you all caught up on the Daily Rewind with the top headlines and stories throughout the day.
An investigation is underway after a Navy sailor was found dead at Naval Station Norfolk on Friday. Officials say Fire Controlman First Class Alonzo Martin Jr. was found dead inside the command's building. The Naval Criminal Investigative Services describes his death as a non-combat, medically unattended death.
The Navy released a statement saying, quote, "The Navy mourns the loss of our shipmate and sends condolences to FCA-1 Martin's family, friends, and fellow sailors during this difficult time." It goes on to say that grief counseling services are available with the Fleet and Family Support Center and also with the chaplain. We will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest updates on air and online as we get them.
The latest report on inflation shows a bit of a mixed bag. Consumer prices rose 2.7% in December from a year earlier, and it is still above the Federal Reserve's goal of 2%.
And grocery prices continue to cost Americans more money, all while gas prices dropped at the end of last year. Turning your side to Michael Rinker joins us live in Portsmouth with what this means for your bottom line. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Kiana and Katie. This inflation report really shows the trade-off that Americans are making right now, spending a little more at the grocery store as well as on utilities, but getting a little relief when you go and get gas at a gas station. Now, at the start of 2025, our inflation rate was at 3%. To end the year, we were down to 2.7%. So things did get a little bit better in 2025. And the good news is that economists with Oxford believe that the tariff-driven inflation is the worst of it is behind us. Consumers are seeing relief in gas prices, which dropped 3.4% year over year. Airfares also dropped in 2025. Auto insurance inflation, it's still high, but it's not as high as we've seen in recent months. But at the grocery store, prices are up. Egg prices are actually down nearly 20% in 2025, but overall, at-home food prices jumped 0.7% just from November of 2025 to December of 2025. Beef and veal prices jumped 16% last year, and then coffee was up nearly 20%. And when it comes to utilities, electricity as well as gas is still, those prices are up right now. Now, the Fed is going to meet this month to talk about the interest rates, and it's not expected that they will be cutting those rates despite doing so earlier last year.
Police are investigating a shooting that left a 41-year-old man hurt. This happened at the Jersey Park Apartments yesterday. We're told that man was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. If you have any information on this shooting, call the crime line or use the P3 Tips app. Businesses at the oceanfront could get some money from the city to fix up their stores.
This is part of an improvement grant and also the beginning of the new Atlantic Ave grant program. Turning aside to Kagan Hughes joins us live from the control room to explain. Kagan.
Yeah, good morning, Katie, Kiana. This grant has given out more than $450,000 to nearly 70 businesses around the city. It is eligible to owners who want to make exterior improvements to their buildings or properties. For 5 years, the Facade Improvement Grant provided matching grants up to $10,000. Virginia Beach is launching another program called the Atlantic Avenue Grant that is for businesses on Atlantic Avenue between 2nd and 40th Street. It's for improvements like signs and landscaping. To learn more about the programs, head over to wavy.com for a link to an application. Live in the control room, Kagan Hughes, 10 on your side.
Mark your calendar for the Laugh Through the Pain comedy show and brunch. It's on February 7th, and this show will be hosted by Newport News native Coco Brown. The event is to raise money for the Social Butterflies Foundation, which supports people with lupus and fibromyalgia.
I feel like my gift that God gave me to make people laugh and to forget about their problems just for a second and feel like someone relates to them. I have to share it.
Because we want a cure, we need a cure, but people have to be able to live today. They got to be able to pay their medical bills.
And that's just one of the shows inside of the brand new Funny Bone, which is now in Pembroke Square.
We just want to keep live comedy going, and we want everyone to come out and enjoy it.
So be sure to mark your calendar. Also for next Thursday on January 22nd, that's when the brand new arcade with a full bar opens. It's called Draftcade.
It's right next door to Funny Bone, so you can come out, play some games, and then come watch the show or go play games after the show. And it's so fun. It's family friendly for some hours during the afternoon and the early evenings. It's 80 to 100 retro arcade games.
Developing news from Norfolk. Investigators are working to learn what sparked a house fire. This fire happened around 1:30 this morning on East Princess Anne Road. Officials say the fire did not spread past the attic. The good news here, no one was hurt. The Red Cross is helping 3 people.
A Virginia Beach mother charged with killing her own child was found not guilty by reason of insanity during the first day of her murder trial. 42-year-old Leandra Andrade is charged with killing her 2-year-old daughter in an oceanfront motel back in 2022. Tonight on Your Side's investigative reporter Chris Horn was inside the courtroom, and he joins us now live with the latest. Chris?
Yeah, Asia, longtime defense attorney James Broccoletti called it one of the saddest cases he's ever been involved with. Bottom line is Leandra Andrade will not serve any prison time. She did have some family members present today, a sister, a brother-in-law. They did not want to comment on today's result as they left the courthouse here in Virginia Beach. Andrade's 2-year-old daughter, Lanois, was found dead at the Cuddy Sark Motel on Atlantic Avenue. This was in the early morning hours of August 1st, 2022, 3.5 years ago. Andrade's from Washington, D.C. She was found unconscious and rushed to the hospital herself and was later charged with child neglect with serious injury. A copy of the search warrant said that they found an empty pill container, a glass bottle with some powder, a laptop, some cell phones and flash drives, and other items from that hotel room at the Cuddy Sark. And then the medical examiner Lanois died from an overdose of antihistamines and thus the murder charge. 10 Your Side's investigative team also found that the father of the child, Fabio Andrade, filed an emergency motion for temporary custody of Lanois more than a year before she was found dead at the oceanfront, saying that his estranged wife was in mental distress and that she was a danger to herself and their child. Now, 3 doctors have already evaluated Andrade and determined that she does meet the criteria for insanity. That, of course, weighed on the judge today. He accepted the not guilty by reason of insanity plea from Leandra Andrade. She will be evaluated over the next several weeks. Next court date is March 10th. At that point, the judge, same judge as today, Afshin Farashahi, he will determine whether she is released or she is committed for more mental health treatment.
Police have charged 29-year-old Robert Johnson with breaking and entering at a home Sunday on Staffordshire Lane. Investigators say he assaulted a 55-year-old woman and a 66-year-old man and stole several items in the home. The victims are now recovering at the hospital. Johnson's in jail without bond. Lawmakers are beginning a new 60-day session, making history with the most diverse group of representatives to date. You're taking a look now at a live picture from Richmond. Democrats are entering this year's session with control of the governorship, the House of Delegates, and the state Senate for the first time in 5 years. Lawmakers will tackle key issues like gun control, clean energy, potential legislation on public transit, and judicial reforms. And tonight, Governor Glenn Youngkin will deliver his final State of the Commonwealth address from the Virginia State Capitol. It starts at 7. You can watch it live on wavy.com. And the Virginia National Guard, the soldiers and airmen will be front and center in Richmond this Saturday, supporting the inauguration of Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger. According to the Virginia National Guard Public Affairs Office, crews will fire a ceremonial 19-gun salute, provide live music, lead the inaugural parade, and even fly F-22 fighter jets over the ceremony from Joint Base Langley-Eustis. The Guard says the event also gives them valuable training alongside state and local partners. Norfolk police are looking into a stabbing on East Little Creek Road. Officers responded to a call yesterday evening just after 5:30. 10 on Your Side had a crew at the scene. They saw at least 3 Norfolk police vehicles there. We are working to learn more details about what happened, so check on air and online for updates. Norfolk court proceedings for a lawsuit begin today involving flock cameras. At the core of the issue, whether the dragnet surveillance system violates Fourth Amendment rights. 10 on Your Side's Brett Hall has this preview.
This case was first filed back in 2024. A resident of Portsmouth and a resident of Norfolk both alleging that their privacy is being violated, a constitutional violation because the flock cameras can track their every movement. They say they are not being issued a warrant to track their movements, so they are taking their matter to federal court. Now, they have had some victories in that the judge didn't just throw out the case like the city of Norfolk wanted. However, now we will be hearing arguments to see if the case will move to the trial phase.
Grammy-nominated musician John Forte has died. Police say Forte was found dead on Monday in his Chilmark, Massachusetts home. There were no signs of foul play, and the case is being investigated by the state medical examiner's office. The native New Yorker was known for his work with the Fugees and the refugee camp All Stars. Forte also released solo albums. Back in 2000, Forte was arrested at Newark Airport for carrying drugs and drug trafficking. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison, but after 7 years, his sentence was commuted by then President George W. Bush. The 50-year-old Forte is survived by his wife and 2 children.
We also have a breaking story tonight from Newport News. Detectives say they just arrested a man for a homicide. They charged 35-year-old Gary Mack with first-degree murder.
Investigators say Mack gunned down 41-year-old Philip Murphy Jr. on North Chalice Court in June of 2023. Murphy was pronounced dead at the scene. We're following breaking news now from Portsmouth. A police car was involved in a crash. 10 on your side just got this video from the scene. This is on Effingham Street at High Street.
And you can see the police cruiser and another car here are damaged. We're working to find out exactly how this accident happened and if anyone was hurt. We'll bring you updates as soon as we get them.
If you remember back to like a week ago, and even over the weekend, 5 days ago, 4 days ago, there was a possibility of seeing some snow in our area for tomorrow. Well, it's not showing up. It's just not showing up whatsoever. But we're going to talk about another possibility that's 4 or 5 days out where we could see some snow coming up during the day on Sunday. But let's get to it, show you what's going on. A little bit of rain over the Outer Banks, and that's about it for right now. There's some rainfall way out off to our west. We could still see a sprinkle coming up first part of the day tomorrow, but not real likely. Here's what things are overnight into tomorrow morning. 10, 20-mile-an-hour winds. We've got a little wind shift line right through here. It's actually a big drop in temperatures for the day tomorrow. 57 so far has been our high for the day today. It looks like it'll be much cooler, into the low 40s for the afternoon tomorrow. A bit of a breeze, so very chilly day. You'll need a winter coat coming up for the day tomorrow. That's a cold one. Here's where things are by Friday morning. We'll likely see our wind chills, 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds, but temperatures 25, 27, even colder than that in some inland rural areas with a bit of a breeze. We'll really see the wind chill dropping on down quite likely into the teens coming up by Friday morning. Friday during the afternoon, 41, 42. I'm going a little warmer than that as we see a southwesterly breeze starting to show up. That'll start to warm things up a little bit more for the day on Friday. But Saturday should warm up significantly. But get out and enjoy it. It's going to be the only day we get in terms of warmer air. It'll likely be close to what we saw for the day today. And you know that there's some rainfall off to our west by 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. I want to show you what's going on in terms of that snowfall that's very far away in distance and in time. Here's the GFS showing you what's going on. And this is through Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. In other words, it's moving in. This is Friday through Monday. It's moving in to parts of the area. We'll take you from there and show you that this is going nuts with 2.5 inches, 2.7, 3, 4.3, 3.7, around 5 inches of snow on off in the western portions of our area and on up toward the Richmond area as well. Here's the European forecast model. We're going to take you on this one from Friday all the way through Monday. How much do we get? Oh gosh, run for your lives. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.6. So again, this is a big difference between the forecast models. Thus, a lot of uncertainty remains in terms of what we're going to be dealing with in terms of the possibility of snow for Monday. Temperatures right now have dropped down to 8-9 degrees throughout the area, 49, 47, 49 degrees, 51 yet into Hampton. So again, we've got temperatures in the 40s after high temperatures today, well on up into the 50s throughout the year. A lot of cloud cover, but at least it warmed on up. Temperatures today, again, upper 50s tomorrow, around 40, 41 degrees. Lots of sunshine, a bit breezy. So it'll be a chilly day coming up tomorrow. 44 degrees, chilly day for Friday as well. It will we'll see 57 for the day for Saturday. That's it, though. That's all we get in terms of the next 7 days. We're looking at one day only with temperatures above average, otherwise only around 40. And there could indeed be some snow on Sunday afternoon. We'll have to watch for that. No guarantees at this point. Lots and lots of uncertainty remains with that.
All right, thanks, Don. The Wavy Weather app gives you live radar, the hour-by-hour forecast, and access to weather blogs. The app is free for your smartphone and tablet.
Just scan this QR code and the app will automatically come up for you. Once you have it, be sure to turn on the weather alert.
Spreading sickness is seeping its way into local schools. We've been covering various illnesses going around, from the flu to RSV and more. Nick Broadway is on your side with what you need to know to protect the little ones.
From call-outs to sending students home sick, school districts in our region are reporting a worse than usual flu season. It seemed to pick up after students came back from the holiday break. We spoke with Norfolk School District's nursing supervisor, Shelley Lewis. She says this flu season is noticeably worse than last school year, with more call-outs from staff and students. Thankfully, they've had enough subs to fill the vacancies from call-outs and have yet to cancel any events. Lewis tells me parents often have a hard time with knowing when to keep their children home from school. If the child has a temperature higher than 100.4, a persistent heavy cough, skin eruptions, or difficulty breathing, it's time to stay home from class. She also highly encourages the flu vaccine and the usual prevention tips.
We do encourage good respiratory hygiene, cough and sneeze in your sleeve, use tissues, good hand washing, and sanitizing.
Later on Wavy News 10, what we're hearing from CHKD about the increase in young children going to the hospital with the flu. And while some districts in our region are reporting a worse than usual flu season, some districts like Virginia Beach and Portsmouth say it's at the same level as normal, though they're still encouraging parents to keep sick students home. Nick Broadway, 10 on your side.
Today marks 2 weeks since a well-known real estate broker was shot in her home in the Ocean View neighborhood of Norfolk. While Judy Boone recovers, police have yet to make an arrest. They recently asked the public for video from East Ocean View Avenue on New Year's Eve. 10 on your side's Andy Fox has more from the Norfolk Commonwealth's attorney.
We are here in Ocean View, and Norfolk police continue investigating what happened at this house on New Year's Eve.
As we've reported, well-known real estate broker Judy Boone owns this house and was shot while she was in her downstairs bedroom. You can tell investigators have been by. The fence has been dusted for prints. The broken side window into Boone's bedroom has been replaced, as has the glass door into her bedroom, now back to normal. We sat down with Norfolk Commonwealth's attorney Ramin Fadahi. Police are examining the facts and where they may lead.
We follow the facts and the law. The police investigate with an open mind, and we prosecute with an open mind. It's a truth-seeking process.
On Monday, Norfolk police released a statement. They need the public's help.
It means they are working diligently, they're continuing their investigation, and they are interested in any other information, regardless of whether someone thinks it might be important. They are interested in it to be able to bring justice in the case.
2 heads are better than 1. Certainly 3 could be beneficial in this case. Just a few hours ago, mayors representing Virginia, Kentucky, and Florida tackled how to take back the community. 10 on your side's Angela Bohan joins us with some highlights from the collaboration.
That's right. Today's meeting included the mayors of Tampa and Louisville, as well as our own Newport News. It's an effort to make the city safer, which is, of course, not a simple task. The meeting was hosted by the Democratic Mayors Association. The goal? To highlight the progress in reducing violent crimes in various cities, giving others ideas to take home and potentially implement. Jane Castor is the mayor of Tampa and also a former police chief. She pointed out the benefit of focusing on 4 types of crimes: robbery, home and commercial burglary, auto theft, and auto burglary.
And in reducing those 4 crimes, which we reduced every year for over a decade, we reduced every other crime. The ripple effect on that was really incredible.
Meantime, Newport News is spreading word that it has reduced violent crime using a multifaceted approach.
We did a huge press conference last week. We had the lowest homicide rates in over 15 years. And that was a result of, one, I believe, increasing the number of police officers. We have an amazing chief, and we're a predominantly African-American city with a white chief. So we prioritize community policing.
Newport News will be using 7 pillars to prevent violence. They include economic prosperity, mental health, and effective conflict resolution. It's something Tampa's mayor says follows the right track.
Really looking at preventing crime rather than reacting to it. And unfortunately, there are a lot of law enforcement agencies nationwide that still just react to crime.
And Mayor Jones pointed out that the city hired its first ever community violence prevention manager. He also told me today's meeting was a great way to share ideas, but he will continue to follow up with those other mayors for more collaboration. Angela Bohan, 10 on your side.
Following up with a mama cat in need, Hope for Life announced Ruthie delivered 5 healthy kittens.
Oh, we're so happy. And while the 2 other kittens did not survive, the Virginia Beach Rescue says they are grateful for the 5 who are here. And take a look at how cute they are.
Look at that.
We are told the 5 kittens are gaining weight well with some supplementation, making great milk mustaches there. Oh, Mama Ruthie is also recovering well after her C-section. And better yet, we're told she finally passed a stool.
Phew, relief. Yeah. Well, Hope for Life Rescue says it's a huge relief and a big step in the right direction. We first shared Ruthie's story Monday. If you would like to support Ruthie and her babies, we posted a link to their Amazon wish list on wavy.com. Williamsburg man lost his father in 2009, but he has a new memento to remember him by.
That's right. A woman found a Navy belt buckle at a flea market. 10 on your side's Ethan Krause explains how that buckle is making the long journey home. Ethan?
Ashley, Regina, that's right. This story of reuniting a piece of family history with its rightful owners right here in Hampton Roads began all the way in a small town outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. Cheryl Buitrago was at a flea market with her then husband in Pahrump, Nevada. There he found a Navy belt buckle and bought it for just 75 cents. On that buckle, there was a name engraved, Captain Roy P.G. Cheryl says instead of holding on to it or possibly selling it for more money, she immediately wanted to find the owner, Captain G, or his family to return it, and says her connection to members of her family who also served our country was the reason behind that.
My grandfather was in the World War II, and I have a picture of him too. This was my grandpa, and he's sitting right here. So I've got these and those are the only things I have of my grandfather serving. So I think it was really important to get this back to him if he wanted it.
The 2026 General Assembly session is officially underway. Democrats, who hold the majority in both the House and Senate, are promising to turn their campaign promises into reality.
However, Republicans say those issues may hurt Virginians. Tyler Englander has more from day one of this year's session.
The first day of the General Assembly session always brings the usual pomp and circumstance, and today was no different. Speaker Don Scott elected to a new term as Speaker of the House, and Governor Glenn Youngkin and Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger shared a special moment just days before the inauguration. With the drop of a gavel and members taking their oaths of office, the 2026 General Assembly session is officially underway in Virginia. The House re-electing Democratic Delegate Don Scott as Speaker of the House.
When I first picked up this gavel, I said I wasn't holding it for myself, and that remains true today. I hold it for the next generation, for the next Virginian who will live in a better Commonwealth than the one we know today because of the work that we will do in this chamber.
Democrats say during this year's session they'll prioritize ways to make life more affordable and the passage of 4 constitutional amendments, including one to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution and another to allow for mid-decade redistricting in the Commonwealth.
Before we can even get to our main focus of affordability,
we must first address protecting our democracy and Virginians' freedoms.
Meanwhile, Republicans oppose the proposed amendments and say Democrats' ideas on affordability might make life more expensive in the Commonwealth.
We're going to be all about affordability. We're going to be all about making sure that our constituents and the Commonwealth of Virginia, that we actually do see lower prices.
As you can see on your screen, Governor Glenn Youngkin and Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger shared a moment together at the Capitol today. Youngkin telling Spanberger to soak it all in because 4 years can go by pretty quickly. At the state capitol, I'm Tyler Englander.